Okay, so let me start with the first question.
Okay.
What is your name, your job title, company, and a description of the industry and product lines and or services you offer?
My name is Mike Giordano. I'm the president and part owner of Carpe Diem Sales and Marketing. We're a 21-year-old promotional products distributor and supplier. Our product line ranges from anything you can wear, clothing, hat, jackets, to anything you can possibly think of to put your logo on. Promotional products can be golf balls, keychains, pens, coffee mugs, and everything in between.
Basically, what's called swag.
Yeah, amongst other names, yes.
Okay, so give a detailed description of your typical customer and who do you specifically target, sell to the most?
Typical customer for my company differs from most. We target large corporations that require warehouse storage and fulfillment, which I have here in my office or my building. Timeshare industry is a big target of ours. We supply their uniforms, we supply their pool gifts, children's gifts, sales gifts, and we also assemble and ship their owner's kits, which is a lot different from most in our industry.
Okay, so how long have you been at your company and how did you get your job?
Well, I started it, so I got my job because I spent money to start it, and it'll be 21 years in November.
Wow. Have you been in other sales jobs?
Yes.
Can you describe some and probably give us how they influenced you to start this company?
My first job was selling military-grade computer chips to military subcontractors. I was a salesperson, and what shaped me was within a year of that job, I took a piece of business that allowed me to buy a new car and a condominium with the commission, and I was hooked. So I thought I could do this. I could be a salesperson, and I've never looked back. That's my whole career has been a salesperson.
Okay, so describe several specific things that you like and dislike about your job sometimes.
Well, I love interacting with customers. I love getting out of the office and going to meet with them to discuss projects, to offer things that we do that they may not think of. We're supposed to be the experts in recommendations. So that's probably the most favorite part of my job is to go out and visit customers. The least favorite part of my job is because we're a fairly large company, my business partner and I split the duties up. He runs the company and I run the sales. And I am inundated with sales questions from my team, paperwork, commission reports. Don't like to be bogged down doing stuff that takes me away from selling.
Okay, when you were starting in sales, what was your philosophy and how has it changed over time?
I had no philosophy. It was shaped by people that mentored me. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it all worked. What shaped me was the advice I was given many years ago by my first boss and my first sales manager, who basically told me that no matter what you do, no matter where you work, be the best you could be and work the hardest you can, because at some point your company will have to pay you more money or somebody else will. So the lesson is work very, very hard and you'll get rewarded. I learned that a long time ago. So that shaped me.
Okay, so did you have any training or you want to describe that training if you can remember it?
The first training I had, hey, I'm not that old. The first training I had was working in the warehouse for 5 months and learning as many as I can, as many part numbers as I can, seeing what types of companies bought what. I don't have an engineering degree, which in that field you kind of need. But since I was selling to the military, products were already approved and designed, so all I had to do was take care of the purchasing department, not the engineering department. So there was no real formal training. There was no textbooks. There was no homework. There were no quizzes. There were learning the customers, learning their habits, what they buy, and making sure that they had everything they need.
And how does that relate to your company now?
It's a lot different. Here, we teach, as part of our sales training, we teach customer profiling. Before you're able to sell something to anyone, you have to understand them. And if you understand them, and it's a series of questions, 5 or 6, doesn't take long, then you pretty much know exactly what they buy, their buying habits. So we're able to come back and meet as a team and discuss what products are good for certain customers. So it's more about, now it's more about profiling the customer and understanding the customers before you can go out and sell them.
So it's definitely more relationship oriented.
Yes. Our business is one of choices. I think there are close to 100 companies like us in Central Florida. So people have options. And most people buy from people they like. So it's all about relationships. Because you can get the same pen from 100 different people. You can get the same t-shirt, same coffee mug. Why buy it from us? Yeah, yes, price matters, but it's also the feel-good
the emotional.
The emotional, yeah. I mean, you're going to buy from people you like. Consumers do it all the time. You could buy from one grocery store instead of another. Why do you go back? Yeah, convenience is a factor, but experience. You could eat at restaurants. What restaurants do you like? You typically eat at restaurants because you like the food. Also, you like the service. If you ate at a restaurant and you liked the food but you didn't like the service, you probably wouldn't go back there.
That's true. Okay, so what are your attitude about the following? Quotas, paperwork, and sales managers.
I wish I could hire a sales manager. That would be nice. I probably could, but I'm too lazy because I like doing it myself. Sometimes I complain, but I still like it. I like the control. Paperwork I really don't like. I understand it's a part of the job, so I'm used to it after all these years. And sales quotas, those are goals, so somebody has something to shoot for.
Motivation.
It gives somebody a sense of satisfaction if he or she could meet a sales quota, a month, 2 months in a row, 3 months in a row. And we also determine bonuses by how often the company hits their sales goals. So there's incentive for everybody.
Oh, that's good. So if I were an entry-level salesperson in your industry, what should I expect in compensation, salary range, and any other benefits?
There are 2 types of salespeople in our industry, inside sales and outside sales. Outside sales are commission only. We pay 50% of the gross profit on an order. So if you bring an order in that is the profit is $1,000, you get $500 and the company gets $500. It's big risk, big reward. You can make a lot of money, but you have to be very, very good because there's no safety net. You don't get a salary. Inside sales supports the outside sales people. Those are salary positions, and you can plan on making anywhere from $28,000 to $40,000 the first year, based on you'll be eligible for the bonus structure. Inside salespeople don't make commission, so they have to have something to incentivize them to come to work and look at my smiling face every day. So we give them bonus opportunities, and when the company hits their goals, they get compensated for it once per quarter. If they don't, because they work so hard, I still give them a little bit of something. So it varies. If the company has a fantastic year, everybody has a fantastic year. If we have a marginal year, they have a marginal year. If we have a down year, they make what their salary is, basically.
Okay, what perks come with this job?
Probably the biggest one is, besides promotional products, we have access to what's called the incentive and premium markets. Briefly, companies like Rolex, Movado, Coach, Louis Vuitton, we have access to all of their merchandise because companies like to incentivize their employees not only with promotional products that are logoed, but merchandise that's not. So we pay typically between 30% and 50% less than retail. So the employees love around Christmas time where they could buy Christmas gifts at our cost and pay for the shipping, and they save money on
Nice.
when going for retail. That's probably the biggest perk, is the ability to buy things. And I let everybody has their own account number, so they buy the merchandise when it comes in. Accounting gives them the invoice, and it's the cost of the goods. There's no markup, and the shipping, and they pay accounting, and they get merchandise typically from 30 to 50% less than they would if they went to a retailer. And good stuff too, not
cheap.
not markdown stuff. Yeah, you can pretty much anything you can think of, including furniture. You can get in our industry because there's a whole different side to our business, the premium and incentive business.
Nice. Okay, what is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you in a sales call?
Embarrassing. Embarrassing in a sense that I was yelled and screamed at because I had no right to go into a customer walking in, and she undressed me in front of the whole office and just yelled and screamed, and who do I think I am, and why am I here, and how dare you come in without an appointment? It's probably the most embarrassing. And it took place about 16 or 17 years ago, and it happened when I was calling on a customer that had recently been bought, and they couldn't buy it for me anymore, so I had to go to a work trailer that was on site. The new company that bought them had set up a temporary office, and so my customer told me that they couldn't buy, but they also told me where the new company was located for now. So I went and just walked into their trailer and talked to the marketing person, and she pretty much let me have it in front of everybody. That's probably the most embarrassing. Although when you had no's, when you've flown 2.5 hours to sit in the lobby for 3 hours to find out that the customer can't see you, and then you have to get back on a plane and fly home. I mean, stuff like that happens. Pretty much anything that can happen to me as a salesperson has happened. We've printed the wrong. Mistakes that we didn't catch ended up going to the customer. We printed a big job for Disney years ago, and for some reason on part of the shirt, the S in the word Disney didn't come from the computer to the equipment, so it was D-I-N-E-Y instead of D-I-S-N-E-Y. So that was quite embarrassing. The company got a big laugh out of it. I still hear about that today.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, first of all, your first sale was in the military...
military computer chips.
First
job.
Okay, so tell me about your first sale with the military or with a consumer.
Well, the first sale with a government subcontract. I don't remember the first sale.
You don't remember the emotion?
No, I don't remember the emotion. That's a good question. I wonder why I don't, but I don't remember the first emotion because.
Or when you got that sale, when you knew you had them?
It wasn't very big. The first big sale I got, the emotion was like, whoa, I got paid this much for that. And that was that sale that It was about $800,000, and I made a tremendous commission on that. That set me going. But I remember that one. I remember getting that commission, opening that check, and saying, "Holy moly!" Because I knew my company made money, obviously.
Okay, so is that the most satisfying sales you've ever done, or
there's been others. We've done sales in this industry. We've done sales at the last minute. That happens a lot. We saved somebody's job once because they made a mistake and they didn't get us information correctly. So what we had to do was the merchandise was going up to West Virginia, and it had to be there on a Friday and not a Monday. We were told it had to be there on a Monday. So instead of shipping it, which overnight, which would have cost $12,000 and her job, we found somebody in a truck, loaded the merchandise, and they drove it up Thursday.
Wow.
From here. That was fairly satisfying because we bailed them out, we saved her job, and it's one of many instances in 21 years where we put our heads together and we figured out a way to get something done to save the order or to produce an order, which allows us to win customers or keep in the good faith of customers. Some people forget to buy stuff. Usually this is the last items that people remember. Oh my God, I have to buy T-shirts. And by coming up with a team and a system, we were able to turn, I have 3 of them right now that I have to do, that I don't have quantities in artwork. Merchandise has to be in Chicago on one of the jobs by next Friday, in New Jersey on another job by next Friday, and I don't have all the information yet. It's this Friday, and it's a 3-day ship from here. So I have to produce everything by Tuesday and get it out the door, and hope that UPS delivers it when they're supposed to. So very, very high stress industry because customers wait till the last minute and they think we can bail them out all the time. Yeah. They're satisfying when we do. They're disheartening when we don't.
Okay, so would you recommend a career in sales for a student like me, and why not? Sorry.
Well, I will, and I'll give you one reason. Okay, why? A good friend of mine who happens to live down here, but I grew up with him. I've known him since I was 9 years old. A very, very smart guy. He went to a very, very smart institution up in Massachusetts for college. Got his degree. First job he landed was in New York City as an accountant, and it was one of the top firms, accounting firms in the world that he got a job with right out of college. And he worked there for a year. And one of the things that he had to do was he had looked at the books and balanced the books of certain type of companies, and he noticed that every month the people that made the most money were salespeople. So he thought, I need to get it into the sales business. I could see how much these people are making. So he quit that job, which people don't quit, companies like this. Got a job as a salesperson selling copiers and printers. And I don't even think fax machines were out yet. I don't think they were invented yet. And today he is still doing the same thing. He's very successful because he jumped from being an accountant at a big firm to a salesperson. And he's absolutely probably one of the top 2 or 3 salespeople I've ever met in my life. And he's successful to this day because he made that move. So it's not for everybody. It could be lucrative, but I've seen enough salespeople come and go sitting here in 21 years. I've hired and fired, and some have left. Many in 21 years. And the percentage that actually make it and are really good and make a really good living is small.
Wow.
Because if it were big, then everybody would do it. You have to have a certain mentality and you have to have a certain approach to it because it's not easy. You think, I can sell coffee. Who doesn't buy coffee mugs? It's not that easy. Okay, it's not that easy.
Do you want to describe that certain mentality, that special person that can be a successful sales
person?
It's fairly
simple. Okay, if you wake up every morning, okay, with a plan,
and you outwork your competitors. By outwork, I mean go the extra mile, get up earlier, do the extra things. If you're legitimate, honest, and stick to your word, you will be successful. There's no shortcut, and there's no other formula. There's no amount of books you could read. There's no amount of training you could watch. If you outwork your competitors, you're legitimate and honest to your customers. And if you say something is going to happen, make sure it happens, you will be successful. It's a pretty uncomplicated formula, and it works. But there's parts to that, and most people don't get the parts to that. They don't get the outworking part of it. Okay, you have to be smarter than the other person, which means you have to think. Sales, to me, is more common sense than it is technical. Do you really need to know what this is made of? It's ceramic. Well, what's ceramic? Who cares? Okay, it's common sense will drive the sale in a lot of cases.
Okay, so do you have any advice for students or salespeople who are just starting out, minus, what you just said, to go the extra mile, to be like, I don't know how to describe what I'm thinking.
You have to understand, first of all, you have to understand the job you're getting. Okay, so when you get your first job, you have to understand that company and your role. So let's say you get hired as an inside salesperson, okay, at a company. Most companies will pay your salary. They'll give you some sort of medical benefits. You'll get the sick days and the personal days and the vacation days accumulated as you go about. But understand the company. Understand what they do. Understand what they're trying to do. Okay, understand your role. What is my role as an inside salesperson? Do I show up at 8:30? Do I leave at 5 and just clock out? Or do I give them a little extra? What do I do to understand my role here? If in this company, your role as an inside salesperson is to support the outside salesperson. So in other words, they're going to go visit customers all day, hopefully, and especially Fridays. Come back with ideas that they discuss. You have to research the ideas, but you have to think. Let's see.
Which ones are the ones that stand out?
Yeah, which can I? Let me understand the customer. It's Full Sail. Okay, Full Sail.
Yeah.
All right. What are they buying for? Let me talk to my salesperson. These are for the gift shop. Okay. Okay. So let's see. The demographic is college-age students. What are they buying? Okay. What look do they buy? You're a college-age student. What kind of clothing do they like? What kind of electronics do they like? Okay. This is what they go in the extra mile is. Not just coming in and talking to the outside salesperson, and they say, hey, they want a pen. So you go on and okay, here's a pen. Next.
No, you're actually trying to get inside their head and walk in their shoes.
Yeah, that's the extra mile. That's outworking your competitor. Okay, and in our business, part of our outworking your competitor is never wait for the phone to ring for somebody to ask what you want. Present them with ideas, because not only will they like you for it, they're thinking of me. I want to work with these people because they're thinking of me. They're giving me ideas instead of waiting for me to say, I need this pen. Okay? So that's what going the extra mile is. Understanding your customers and what they need and what they would like to see, and then send in samples. Send them, say, hey, I was thinking of you. I saw this at a presentation. Thought you might want to, next time you have a sales conference. Okay, because they have a sales conference. Why? Because you profile their account.
Because they've always done it, or they have always...
And 2 months before their sales conference, you were giving them ideas. Because they buy for their sales conference every year. So you know that because you profile them. So now instead of waiting for them to come to you, hopefully, and give you a quote and say, hey, I need 500 of these. A month before that happens, give them ideas. Put ideas in their head. Hey, I thought you might like this for your sales conference. This is how you get business. In any business. You could sell anything. The skills transfer to any product. But it's the thinking person's game. Get in their heads. Think. What do they want? Why are they going to buy from me? Okay, when they can buy from anywhere. I have to separate myself. How am I going to separate myself? By price? Nah, it doesn't always work that way. By ideas, by thought, by thinking of them, by showing them you're working with them. You're taking somebody's budget. See, you can't give them crap because they're giving this to customers. You don't want it
Quality.
exploding all over the. Yeah, of course, because it makes them look bad. But if they give this to a potential customer, customers say, "Whoa, this is kind of cool. I like that company." They get more business. If they get more business, what happens? Their marketing budget goes up, which means you get more business.
It's simple.
Common sense. It's simple. Take care of them. Understand them. Any industry. Okay. You know, if car dealer salespeople were to be more compassionate instead of immediately saying, well, we got this and this and this and this, and I'm going to get you in the car today, that's all a bunch of crap. They don't take the time to understand who exactly you're talking to. Okay, somebody might have a certain budget. Somebody might have a certain. Do they ever ask you questions? No, they want to get you into a car because it's numbers. They have to sell cars. They don't understand. If
It's
they
more
did it the other
subtle.
way- If they did it the other way, they'd sell more because people would feel more at ease with it.
You're very right.
Of course I'm right. I've been doing this for a long time. I know what I'm talking about. I don't have a lot of skills, but I have one good one.
Okay, so what tips do you have for students or new salespeople for overcoming objections? And can you be specific in those objections?
I'll give you one specific objection. Okay, this is what we hear the most of. Well, we've been working with so and so for 5 years. We really like them, or we've been working with so and so for 10 years. We really like them. My comment to them, and by the way, when you sit in front of someone, you sit tall, you smile because it radiates. They can sense that you're passionate about what you do. You're not like this. Your head's not down. Well, okay, thanks for your time. Okay, I really appreciate it. No. My response is, fantastic. You're exactly the customer that we love to do business with, the loyal customers. I congratulate you and your supplier on that. However, put me in the second position, okay? Every once in a while, throw me a quote just to keep them honest. You want to make sure you're getting the right prices. Sometimes people doing business, they get a little comfortable and they start raising your prices. Just make sure that, so next time you get a quote, send me the quote, okay? I don't care if I'm low bidder and you take my price and go to them and give them the price. I don't care. I said, but just make sure that, I want to make sure you're getting the right price. Plus, we're experts at rush orders. Okay, so if they can't come through for you in a case, give me a call. Put me in the number 2 position, okay? Because it's not always smart to just have one supplier.
It's good to have a backup
Just have
plan.
a backup plan. Make me your backup plan, and I'd be thrilled and honored to be your backup. That's my comeback for rejection. There is no way, not one person in this world is going to still tell you no after that. It doesn't happen, okay? Especially the passion, okay? Make me your number 2 guy or girl. Okay? I want to be there for you, okay? I want to be there, and I'll still float you ideas. You can take my ideas and give them to your supplier, but just in case, I'm the fallback plan. Everybody needs a fallback plan. Sometimes people can't do everything for everybody, and it's no slight on them, but sometimes. How can you turn me down? How are you going to turn me down sitting there? You going to turn me down with that?
No.
No, it's not going to turn me down.
Okay, so what tips do you have about closing?
Well, closing in my business is a little bit different than closing in an insurance sale or a car sale. It's a little or a house. Okay, it's a little bigger purchase and a lot. We're talking about typically people will quote us when they have a need for these things. They're going to buy them. So how do you close the sale? You're the low bidder or they like you. So it's not so much they pick me. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not about closing. If all salespeople in this company have a very big opportunity, they come to me or my business partner and they'll say, help me out with this. And it's typically about pricing at that point. If it's anything over $10,000, okay, they're going to come and say, what do you think? So we'll ask a series of questions, see how prepared they are, and then we'll determine the price. Sometimes we win, sometimes we don't win. You can't do anything about that, okay? You're presenting a price to a company that is required to get 3 bids. In that case, you either offer them something extra that they need that the other two can't provide, or you're going to win on price. Like if it's a job where fulfillment services are needed.
What is that? Fulfillment.
When we're done, I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, it's a program where inventory is kept at a location, and as companies need it, they like Amazon is a fulfillment company.
Nice.
Okay, they don't print the books or the clothing or anything like that. They get them from companies. We supply to Amazon for a customer, and when you buy this particular product from Amazon, somebody's in the warehouse or a machine. They're so huge. They pick it, pack it, and ship it. Okay, so we have an advantage because we do that, and other distributors do not do that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that's a big advantage of ours, especially with somebody that has a need for that and doesn't want to undertake the expense themselves. Because you have to have a building, you have to have staff, infrastructure, insurance, all kinds of stuff. And that's big overhead. We already have it. So for a price, we'll do it for you.
Oh, that's good.
That helps. We do that every day. We ship between 200 and 700 orders every day from back here.
Wow.
Okay, that's pretty big. It's
Okay.
a mess, but it's pretty big.
How do you feel about networking?
Networking, I like networking the old-fashioned way. I like going to events, lunches, happy hours. I like shaking people's hands and meeting them. I'm not very good with social media or internet networking. I'm old school. I don't understand a lot of it. I understand it works, and that's a focus of ours right now, is to either hire somebody or outsource that part of our marketing. But I don't get it. I don't get a tweet, a retweet, pin. I don't get any of that stuff. Okay, but apparently it works. So we'll get somebody in here that understands it, and I'm all about metrics and results. Okay, if I see that by paying somebody to do this, that we're getting more customers and more business, I know it's working. If we don't get more business, I know it's not. So, but it works because I know competitors that use it extensively, and it works for them. I just will have no part in it because I don't understand. I like networking by just
Face to
I
face.
love face to face. Just shaking people's hands and talking to them.
Okay. I think that's it. Do you have anything else you want to add?
You covered a lot of ground. I think you did very well. His questions are very well prepared and thought out. So I think we did well.
Okay, let me stop.